Hello, good morning, and a very warm welcome everyone to day 10 of LDC ADST preparation with me, Prashant Goklani. I hope you all are enjoying these lessons and finding them really effective in your preparation for LDC ADST. I hope you are being regular and the studies are going really strong for this journey of becoming an ADST, right? So, this today we are going to discuss LDC paper 2009 like the past few videos, and the questions for today would be question 2a, part 3, passing a warner or distant at on, and part 4, passing a advanced starter at danger, right? Question 2b also we will discuss today, and that's distinguish between catch and slip siding. So I hope you all are prepared. So let's start with the questions of paper 1 of 22nd February 2009 once again. Right, so here's the link. I'll just open the PDF. So we were discussing section A, and in that we were discussing question number 2. And question number 2A talked about what are the rules for passing automatic signal at danger, stop signal at danger, warner or distant at on, and advanced starter at danger. So we had already discussed automatic signal at danger and stop signal at danger. Today we are going to discuss warner or distant at on, or and the fourth part, that is advanced starter at danger. So let's just go to the slide and first have a look on the relevant GNSR rules concerning these two situations. Right, so rules for passing warner or distant at on. This is actually mentioned in General and Subsidiary Rules, Chapter 3, Signals 3.07, description of distant signals and their indications. This is on page number 44, right? So I'll just open my copy of updated GNSR and go to page number 44. So here is page number 44, as you can see, and I have already kept open the paragraph or the section that we need to refer to, right? So here you can see the aspects and indications of a color light distant signal as shown below. Color light distant signal in multiple aspect signaling territory. So here is how a distant signal looks like in a multiple aspect signaling territory. It has basically got three aspects which are shown below, and the signal post of a distant signal has a P written on the post, indicating that it's a permissive signal. Other than that, there are three LEDs fixed on this particular signal, the bottom one being yellow, the top one also is yellow, and the middle one is actually green. The two positions of the signal, on position and the off position. Today we are going to discuss about the on position in a lot more detail as compared to the off position. Before that, let's have a look on the various aspects of a distant signal. So there are basically three aspects of a distant signal. When only a single yellow is glowing, this is called the caution aspect of the signal. When the two yellow LEDs are glowing, this is called the attention aspect of the signal, of the distant signal. And when the middle green LED is glowing, then we say that it's the proceed aspect of the signal. The relevant indication of these particular aspects are as follows. When the distant signal is showing a caution aspect, it means that proceed and be prepared to stop at the next stop signal, right? When it is showing an attention aspect, what does the locopilot need to do? Proceed and be prepared to pass next stop signal at such restricted speed as may be prescribed special instructions. Train is being received either on main line and is required to stop at the starter signal, or on a loop line required to stop at the starter signal, or to pass run through via loop line. So this is what is indicated by the attention aspect of this distant signal. Last but not the least aspect is proceed. Proceed aspect indicates proceed block section ahead. Proceed block section ahead is clear. Train is to pass run through the station via main line, right? So this is what are the various aspects of a distant signal. We are going to talk about the on aspect of this signal. So as you have already seen, this is the on position of the distant signal when a single yellow LED is glowing, right? And we have already seen what does this aspect indicate. It indicates that proceed and be prepared to stop at the next stop signal. So as most of you know that distant signals are placed before the first stop signal in order to give a better idea to the loco pilot about how to control his speed. And this is what would be the mode of loco pilot when he sees the on aspect of the distant signal. He would proceed but be prepared to stop at the next stop signal. All right, so that is the question for our answer. That is, when the warner, what is the rule for passing the warner or distant at on? The rule for passing the warner or distant at on is passing the signal but be prepared to stop at the next stop signal. That is what is the rule for passing. It's a simple rule, not much complicated like the other cases. Now we'll go to the fourth part of this question, that is advanced starter at danger. What would happen if the advanced starter of a signal is of a particular section is at danger? So concerning this, we can refer to G&SR chapter 3 signals, page number 118. This talks about 3.81 talks about duties of loco pilot when a departure signal is on or defective. So if you have paid enough attention to the last video, we have already discussed about what are the rules for passing the advanced starter at danger. But still, because it's a separate question, I'll cover it in detail in this particular video as well, right? So 118 is the page number that we have to go to. So I'll just go to page number 118, right? In this, the first thing is passing approach stop signal. Now duties of loco pilot when a departure stop signal is on or defective. The loco pilot of a train shall not pass a departure signal that refers to him when it is on or defective unless his train has been brought to stop at the station where the defective signal is situated and he is authorized to do so. How should he be authorized to do so? He should be authorized to do so by a written permission from the station master. In addition, the case in the case of a starter or advanced starter protecting points, he shall not pass such signals when on or defective unless he also receives a proceed hence signal from a duly authorized member of the station staff posted at the signal. So there are two conditions which are required to be ensured before the loco pilot passes this departure stop signal which is on or defective. He should either receive a written permission from the station master, right? And for starter and advanced starter signals protecting points, the loco pilot should not pass such signals when on or defective unless he also receives a proceed hence signal from a duly authorized member of the station staff posted at the signal. The second case can be by taking off the calling on signal if provided under approved special instructions. So there can be two possibilities for the loco pilot when he has faced a dispatch signal as on or defective. He can either receive a written permission from the station master, and in case if it's a starter or advanced starter protecting points, a hand signal with proceed aspect is required. The other case can be by taking off the calling on signal. The station master can take off the calling on signal under approved special instructions, and then also the loco pilot can pass. Then in the case of a last stop signal, he shall not pass such signal when on or defective unless he is also in possession of a proper authority to proceed under the system of working. So there are two things to be ensured for last stop signal. The first being written permission to cross such a signal, and the second being he also needs to have a proper authority to proceed in such a section. So guys, let's talk about question 2b now. which is distinguish between catch siding and slip siding with their relevant diagrams. So this is basically, you can find this answer in S1 Basics of Signal Engineering, page number 62. So you can find it in the EDCET notes, and the first EDCET note that we all are acquainted with is S1 Basics of Signal Engineering. In this, page number 62 describes about catch siding and slip siding. So as all of you know that when the gradients are steeper, then only we provide catch siding and slip siding. In Indian Railways, as you can see, the maximum gradient permitted is 1:400. In station section, the maximum permissible limit is 1:1200, right? And the rule is no station yard should be constructed on a gradient steeper than 1:260 except due to geographic condition where such a gradient cannot be avoided within the station yard. Previous sanction of railway board through CRS has to be obtained, and special arrangements like slip siding has to be provided where the gradient steeper than 1:100 falling away from the station in its close neighborhood, right? So a lot of information in a very big sentence. So I'll just give you a summary of what exactly is said. So what is being said is the station yard should not be constructed on a gradient steeper than 1:260, right? No station yard should be constructed on a gradient steeper than 1:260 except, so there is a condition, except due to geographic condition where such a gradient cannot be avoided within the station yard. And in addition to this, they need a special sanction of railway board through CRS which has to be obtained, and special arrangements like slip siding have to be provided if the gradient is steeper than 1:100 falling away from the station in its close neighborhood, right? So this is to prevent vehicles escaping from the station and trying to enter into the next block section. And similar arrangements have also to be provided if the gradient steeper than 1:80 falling towards the station. This arrangement is known as catch sliding. It is to trap vehicles coming uncontrolled from the block section and trying to enter into the station. Slip siding and catch sliding points must be interlocked with the block instruments, and such sidings should not be used for shunting or stabling processes. So the important things about slip siding and catch siding are, just a second, I'll highlight them. Slip sidings are basically provided where the gradient steeper than 1:100 falling away from the station in its close neighborhood. This is to prevent vehicles escaping from the station and trying to enter into the next block section, right? So this is about slip siding. A good trick to remember this particular thing is, there are two types of siding that we have talked about. One is catch siding and one is slip siding. And in both these types of siding, there is a gradient involved. In one of the sidings, it is 1:100, and in another type of siding, it is 1:80. So if you want to remember this, you can remember it in this way. Consider that C stands for century, right? So the type of siding in which starts with C does not have 100 in it, right? So this is sort of a reverse logic. I think that you will be able to remember it in this way. So catch siding is 1:80 and slip siding is 1:100. In this way you can remember. Works on reverse logic. I hope that it helps you also in remembering this. Similar arrangements have also been provided if the gradient steeper than 1:80 falling towards the station, right? So we'll also have a look on a video which makes it a lot more clear, because the language used here is really confusing. It would be very clear if I draw a diagram. Basically, these two types of sidings are provided in ghat sections where there is a fear of a train losing control and entering into a station section where another train has already occupied the track, right? And to prevent that, we make catch siding and slip siding so that such sort of accidents don't take place. An important thing to remember is the catch siding and slip sliding points must be interlocked with the block instruments, and such siding should not be used for shunting or stabling purpose. Now let's have a look on a video which is a very important video as far as a visual view of catch siding and slip siding is concerned.
दोस्तों आज के इस वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे रेलवे के साइडिंग के बारे में। ये क्या होते हैं और कितने टाइप के होते हैं और इनका क्या यूज है। दोस्तों रेलवे साइडिंग का मतलब मेन लाइन से जोड़कर निकाली गई एक स्लो स्पीड वाली ट्रैक जिस पर ट्रेन को लाया जाता है उसे साइडिंग बोला जाता है। इस तरह के लाइन को जनरली लूप लाइन की तरह कंसीडर किया जाता है। इस ट्रैक पर ट्रेनों की स्पीड बहुत स्लो होती है। दोस्तों स्टेशन या साइडिंग ट्रेन के मूवमेंट को कंट्रोल करने के लिए बनाए जाते हैं। यहाँ पर हम रेलवे के कैच साइडिंग और स्लिप साइडिंग के बारे में जानेंगे। दोस्तों जब रेलवे ट्रैक किसी घाट सेक्शन में होता है तो ऐसे साइडिंग की बहुत जरूरत होती है जो कि ट्रेन के कोलिजन होने से बचाते हैं। सबसे पहले समझते हैं कैच साइडिंग क्या होते हैं। दोस्तों कैच साइडिंग और स्लिप साइडिंग क्या होते हैं, इस बात को समझने के लिए इस ड्राइंग को देखिए। यहाँ पर ये कोई स्टेशन है, यहाँ से एक मेन लाइन होते हुए ऐसे आगे की ओर जा रही है और ये लाइन जो है किसी ग्रेडियंट पे या किसी घाट सेक्शन में इंटर करती है। ये कोई एक बहुत ऊंची सी चढ़ाई है और इससे होते हुए ट्रेन को आगे जाना है। यहाँ पर आप एक पी पॉइंट देख रहे हैं, यहाँ से जोड़कर एक लूप लाइन की तरह कैच साइडिंग को बनाया गया है। ये जो कैच साइडिंग है ये देख सकते हैं आप, इसको चढ़ाई पर बनाया जाता है, इसे भी हाइट पर बनाया गया है। और यहाँ एक पी पॉइंट है, यहाँ से निकालकर एक स्लिप साइडिंग को बनाया गया है। अब हम समझते हैं कि इसे बनाने का मतलब क्या है, इसे क्यों बनाया गया है। दोस्तों मान लीजिए कि कोई ट्रेन इधर से चलना शुरू करती है और जैसे जैसे वो आगे बढ़ेगी, आगे बढ़ते बढ़ते अगर वो चढ़ाई पर चढ़ रही है और किसी कारण से उस ट्रेन की जो ब्रेक है वो फेल हो जाए, मतलब कि उस ट्रेन की लोकोमोटिव या जितने भी कोच हैं अगर ब्रेक काम करना बंद कर दे तो होगा क्या कि ट्रेन की जो लोड है इतनी ज्यादा होती है कि वो चढ़ाई पर चढ़ते हुए अपने आप पीछे की ओर आने लगेंगे। और पीछे की ओर आते 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 ये जो स्टेशन पे अगर कोई ट्रेन होगी तो उससे जाकर इसका कोलिजन हो जाएगा। मतलब कि यहाँ बीच में रोकने के लिए कुछ नहीं, क्योंकि ये इतनी चढ़ाई है कि यहाँ से ऑटोमेटिक वो नीचे की ओर आएंगे और यहाँ स्टेशन पे खड़ी किसी ट्रेन से जाकर उसकी टक्कर हो जाएगी। तो इस कोलिजन को रोकने के लिए यहाँ पर एक कैच साइडिंग को बनाया गया है। यहाँ पर एक पॉइंट मैन होते हैं। जब मान लीजिए कि किसी कारण से ट्रेन की ब्रेक जो है अगर फेल हो जाए तो इस रूट को जो है लॉक कर दिया जाता है। तो जब इधर से ट्रेन ऐसे जाएगी तो वो इस रूट में डाइवर्ट हो जाएगी। जब इस रूट को हम लॉक कर देंगे तो ये ऐसे इधर की ओर डाइवर्ट हो जाएगी और इधर की ओर जाते जाते यहाँ तक जाते जाते चूंकि एक चढ़ाई पे है तो ऑटोमेटिक ट्रेन जो है वो रुक जाएगी और इधर कोलिजन होने से बच जाएगा। तो इसलिए जो है कैच साइडिंग को बनाया जाता है। ये जो कैच साइडिंग की जो लेंथ होती है वो ट्रेन की लेंथ से ज्यादा होती है, इसलिए कि जो है पूरी की पूरी ट्रेन इसमें आ जाए और मेरी जो ये यहाँ पर जो मेन लाइन है वो पूरी तरह से क्लियर रहे, ये कहीं से भी जाम ना हो। तो इसलिए आप समझ सकते हैं कि कैच साइडिंग कहाँ पर बनाया जाता है और क्यों बनाया जाता है, इसका क्या यूज है। यहाँ पर जो है ट्रेन की कोलिजन को रोकने के लिए हम कैच साइडिंग बनाते हैं। अब मान लीजिए कि ट्रेन अगर यहाँ से चलते चलते यहाँ पे कैच ना हो पाए, अगर ट्रेन जो है इसके आगे निकल जाए और यहाँ से मतलब ये इस ट्रैक पे ना मूव हो पाए, तब उसके लिए ये जो स्लोप यहाँ पे जो ढाल है, मतलब कि ये जो प्लेन स्लोप है, यहाँ पर हम एक स्लिप साइडिंग बनाते हैं कि अगर यहाँ से अगर कैच नहीं हो पाते हैं ट्रेन तो उसको जो है यहाँ पर कंट्रोल किया जाता है और इस ट्रैक को लॉक करके यहाँ पर जो है इसको इधर डाइवर्ट कर दिया जाता है। मतलब कि स्टेशन पर खड़ी किसी ट्रेन से कोलिजन होने से इसे इस तरह से बचाया जा सकता है। तो ये दोनों बहुत ही घाट सेक्शन में बहुत ही फायदेमंद होते हैं, ये कैच साइडिंग और स्लिप साइडिंग।
So guys, with this we come to the end of this particular video. Thank you so much for your time, and this is Prashant Goklani signing off. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.